everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It podcast. Jack, how are you doing, man?
Hey, you see what the words are under my name? You know what I'm saying, hey, y'all better get off my man Phil. Free Phil Spencer, man.
Oh boy, we're gonna catch you tonight. We really gonna
I'm
catch
trying.
you tonight.
I'm trying.
Andre, what's up, man?
I had something to say, and then y'all brought that up, and then I lost my whole train of thought.
We're gonna be getting into that one a little bit later, but we have a special guest with us, Broadway. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for letting me come, Jay.
No problem. So, um, don't forget like, share, subscribe, all the other good stuff. Uh, Before we get into genre love part 4, we got a couple things to talk about. But first, what is everybody playing? Jack, what you playing?
Right now, I am finishing up Ghost. Like I said, I am taking my dear sweet time with that game. I'm trying my best to 100% that game. So you'll hear that from me for like the next couple of weeks, like I'm playing Ghost.
Okay, all right. Andre, what about you? What you playing?
Besides jumping on Ninja Saviors and playing Knights of the Old Republic again, I dabbled a little bit back and forth with Metroid Prime Remastered because I haven't really had a chance to sit down because every time I want to, my kids mess with my hands while I'm playing, so I can't really play the way I would normally play. So then I just default to stuff where I'm not using the analog much.
Gotcha. Okay, Broadway, what about you? What are you playing?
Oh, well, Civilization 6,
Mm.
Phasma.
Still on Phasma.
Always.
Breaking all the black folks horror movie rules. Just breaking them.
Yes. Every day. Just walk. Oh, you hear sounds. Oh, where is it? Let's
Hey,
squirrel. But
at least he's getting done in a video game and not real life.
Right.
between Phas, Mortuary Assistant, Cafe Simulator, and yeah, Civ 6. Those are the ones I've been switching back and forth from the last about last 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. Me, I'm still on Future Redeem, trying to knock that out before Friday. Because once Friday hit, I
Oh
ain't
Mhm.
gonna
yeah,
know.
it's a wrap.
I ain't gonna know what that game look like.
That's a wrap.
Mm.
uh,
Once Friday hit, the Zelda whore takes over.
yep.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I keep forgetting you were a Zelda whore. I forgot
Yes,
about
I
that.
am proud.
Yeah.
He
Um,
has company, so y'all don't hate. He
also,
brought
Oh no,
back
it
up
ain't no
tonight.
hate.
Okay.
Ain't no hate. Just a statement of facts.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Andre, I don't know why you got me on Ninja Saviors. That game is fun.
It is.
Saviors.
Ninja
Ninja Save.
Saviors.
It
Don't make
was
me look it
okay.
up.
So
Okay, let me see.
originally, it was called Ninja Warriors on the Super Nintendo, and it was an arcade before.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's
That's
also
what it is.
called Ninja Savior's Return of the Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's
Ah.
a return. I think it was only one game, but
Yeah, it was only one game.
whatever. They're like, we coming back. Where the hell did you go?
So yeah, that one. So I played that one. I did go back into Future Perfect and played a little bit of Perfect Dark. I got to get back on Jade Empire. I may do
Mm.
that once I get back from home because y'all do remember the next 2 weeks we're not gonna have a podcast episode because next Sunday is Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all need to take y'all mamas out, and Sunday after that I'll be driving back up here. So
Gotcha.
so I'll probably jump back on Jade Empire when I get back.
How does that
Um,
hold up?
Jade Empire,
Hmm.
dude, it still holds. The only problem I have with it, I kind of wish that it got like a remaster so they could fix some of the little like odd glitches that they had on the OG
Right.
Xbox, the little odd like frame rate stuff that they have. Other than that, it still plays well.
Okay.
Probably need to
Okay.
overhaul the combat a little bit just because sometimes the button lag hits. But
Right.
other than that,
Hmm.
I kind of wish they would have still did that. I know once Mass Effect took off, they didn't go back to it.
Right.
So I'm
Which
like,
was not the brightest of ideas.
yeah, I'm like, because they could have made a killing off Jade Empire.
Yeah, they still can.
Oh,
Yeah. So
it, I'll say for one thing, it does play a little bit better on PC than it does on Xbox for some reason. I
Hmm.
I think it's just more so because it was actually meant for PC and then they translated it over.
Yeah,
Right.
because there's a little bit of a button lag, but other
Yeah.
than that, I mean, it's still a fun game. So, especially if you're a fan of like Shaw Brothers and Wu Tang and all those collection of movies, you'll love
Mm-hmm.
Jade
Oh
Empire.
yeah. Hmm.
So, first things first. Okay, look, yeah, yeah. If you're a fan of Xbox, do not get mad at us about this damn Redfall. All right, do not.
I
I'm
mean,
I'm
Listen,
ready.
didn't they get mad
okay.
at us about the joke?
They got mad at us about the jokes. They
Mm,
got mad. They got mad at us because we said the game needed 25% more blade.
Yeah.
That was hating.
and that's not hate. I won't say that that's hating, but Redfall, I mean, it failed because we let's all just be honest. It failed, and I'm a fan of Xbox, and I really wanted
Mm-hmm.
Redfall to be everything. I really, 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 truly did, but I can't get past the 60 FPS issue.
Well,
He,
that alongside like because my main thing was and I remember saying this the week after when we had the podcast. I'm like, me, Jack, and our buddy Brandon, we played uh Back for Blood.
mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
it was the
Yep.
same setup, and we kept having issues. I mean, one night we only got one game all the way through.
Yep.
Mm,
We
mm,
and I'm like, the Redfall was on the same setup as that, and I'm like,
exactly.
this ain't gonna end well.
Yeah.
And when they came out and was like, oh yeah, we had to lock it at 30 and we'll do 60 later, I'm like, you should have just delayed
They
it
should have
again.
delayed. They should have
Yep.
delayed.
Yep.
He should have delayed. Phil, I'm not gonna say yo, he got me stuttering trying to defend him. But listen, I was disappointed to hear him say he didn't think that delaying would make any difference. I think it would have made a difference. Hell, even if even if you had gotten it up to say 50 or 45 somewhere else, but 30, 30, sir.
Not when you've been
Like
touting, you know,
Yeah.
how
when
strong your system is.
4K
and it can't
60
even play
frames.
on what? Didn't they? I don't think some of the people on what is it X? It's not playing on
Yes.
X either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's not even
well,
playing on X.
I
So
know.
that mm-mm,
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess, but
it failed.
it's one of those situations. Now I have seen people go through and play, and they're having a good time with it. And my thing is, I'm like, yeah, because there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with 30 frames a second. But if you keep touting and you keep promising people all this
Hmm.
stuff, you got to deliver. That's why I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I stop bringing it up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
stop bringing it
yeah.
up. Just stop bringing it
Pretend
up.
that it
Wording
didn't
means
happen.
everything.
Just
Yeah,
pretend.
just
Wording means everything.
yeah, just
Well,
talk about the game. Don't bring up frames. Don't bring up just
well,
show the game.
problem is though that it's stamped on the side of their box.
True.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very
You
true.
can't have you can't have your games not say you can't say oh we're not trying to get our game to 60 frames per second when you have it stamped on the side of the box of the console and even tout that it could potentially do 120 frames per second.
Yep.
Oh
I
my God,
mean
I didn't even
No, I
that
realize.
ain't know
was
that part.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
they said
Right.
that they did say that.
Jeez.
because
Oh, that hurt.
that's how Sony and Microsoft got in trouble. Because remember when I told y'all I got that email from
Mm-hmm.
Square Enix about Avengers,
Yeah.
and they was like, yeah, you can't play it in 100 in performance mode with 120. You can't play it.
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
but you promised them that. That's what you promised them. And
Yeah.
so, and they're not the only. Like, look, I know people mad at Microsoft right now. Microsoft ain't the only one. Ubisoft, they
No.
did it with Assassin's Creed. If you
Right.
play Valhalla, you can't. If you want to play it in 4K, it's gonna be locked at 30.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it. EA has done it. All of them because they can't get 4K to sustain 60 at all. None of them can. That's why they lock it at 30.
So
And they need to
instead
just
of
be
them
honest
saying,
about that.
Yeah.
but they can't now.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, because
Media scan would look horrible.
they put themselves in a hole. They dug themselves into a hole.
So instead of them saying 4K 60, they should have said 4K or 60.
Yeah.
Right, that might have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put that or. That or makes a big difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Because we've said it
Yeah,
10
that's
times
the
over. Like the box on PlayStation 5 box has 8K biggest day on it. And
For
it's like,
no reason.
what 8K game are we talking about?
Like,
Like,
what game y'all gonna be running at 8K and your max frame rate gonna be 10 frames per second?
no,
Mm.
if that, that's yeah, I don't know. Like for Redfall, like Jay said, this formula in itself, I've never seen it truly work. Because even when we talk about Left 4 Dead, I know people that love Left 4 Dead, but that thing runs like a mess sometimes.
It's
So
glitchy. It is
it's
glitchy
very,
as hell.
very glitchy. But when we look at the idea of this game, it was already like a dying trend. So it seems like they wanted to start it when it was popular, and it just kind of came out late. But even with that, between this game and all the other games that's supposed to come out for Xbox, they have to start delivering at some point. Not to say that they haven't, because there's games like Psychonauts that, while it wasn't an exclusive, it was still something that they marketed. So we have that. We have Forza Horizon 5. Like those were great games. It's just when you talk about Redfall and kind of what you've been pushing, the same way you've been pushing Starfield, same way you've been pushing Hellblade 2, you kind of have to show up. Got to, especially when this is your forte. Like people know Xbox for shooters. This is supposed to be your lane.
Yeah.
My issue is, even if you were with all of the issues, they needed to drop the price tag. They
For
really
sure.
did.
Yeah, this
They
was the
needed to
first
drop the
$70
price
game.
tag, because
Yeah.
that's the biggest issue is you got a $70 game that's not running as you promised, and you're still selling it for $70. It's
It'll be
like,
down next month.
sir, right. I'm gonna need you to drop that to 40. Let's go ahead and put that on the
Look,
midweek sale.
Yep.
look, that new crackhead price is gonna come in on May 28th.
Yes,
Mhm.
sir. And who gonna be there? Me. Thank you.
I mean, which wasn't it just that Survivor came out, Jedi Survivor came out like what, a week ago when it dropped in price
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
performance. It's just like, gosh, that is the fastest price drop I have seen.
Because
I
apparently that's got
understand.
issues.
And
Yeah,
let me
the
go right now
performance
and go buy
issues.
that.
Jeez.
You said the price has dropped. Thank you.
It makes you wonder though. Like, granted, yes, I know for some of these it's a developer issue, EA. But when we talk about like some of these games, at some point it's like, well, what is the problem? Is it a time thing? Is it your engine just not working for whatever? Is it like who's pushing you? Who's pressuring you to put these games up like this?
Oh, I can answer that.
Okay.
I know the suits is involved.
Yeah, I
Trust
can
me,
answer that.
I know the suits are involved. At some point though, it's like when you see how these games are coming out and how people are responding to them, some of it is a little bit positive. For example, No Man's Sky. That game, they lied up and down about that game.
Oh yeah, they
But
definitely
now
did.
this game is getting awards, and it's top notch. It's got a VR situation. Like the game's great.
Yeah, but
It's
it
good
shouldn't have came out
now.
when it came out.
No, but they lied to
Right.
success.
It's good now because they lied early and then they fulfilled the promises later, which is horrible when you think about it in the long run because so many games keep doing that.
You're right.
Oh, we're going to drop it now. We'll patch it later.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You only get one first impression.
Apparently,
You only get
you
one.
don't. Apparently, you don't, because No Man's Skies is selling like hotcakes. So Redfall might do the same thing. Like, let's be honest. Like, because people have short memories. Like
Hold
Redfall
on
came
though.
out, bam, it crashes. They clean it up, has the 60 frames per second. They go in, they make sure that I guess the AI is a little bit smarter because I've seen some very dumb AI in this game.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they go and they fix all of that, and they drop DLC. I guarantee you, people will forgive it and go pick it up.
Hold on one second, everybody. Hold on.
Hey,
One second.
Oh
Debo.
yeah.
Hi,
Hey,
Vicky.
Vicky.
Yo, Debo.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie though. Back for Blood ain't do that. It didn't bounce that.
But it didn't come.
No.
But they didn't do nothing to bring it back though.
Yeah, they
Like,
did.
That's true. That's true. That is also true.
They put it on and just left it.
Yeah, they was
But then again, you might be right because Cyberpunk did better after a
there you
while.
go. Yep.
Well,
Right.
I
Yeah.
think what happened with Cyberpunk was they started losing like stock price. Then the board was like, "Oh, we got to actually let them do their job."
Mm-hmm.
Crap.
Yeah.
We can't force them to put it out. crap.
But that's my problem with everything being tied to suits because they don't know how everything operates. So
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones trying to get everybody. Okay, we gotta make it flashy for them. We gotta make the graphics so great that you can see the beads
Yep.
of sweat falling off the pores of their body as it comes out, even though nobody cares about that while they're
Yeah,
actually playing the
whatsoever.
game.
No.
Exactly.
Do I need to see every grain of sand and salt roll off of this dude's face because he got punched? No, I don't. I just
Yes.
want to see how well it works.
Yes, Unreal Engine 5. But
Look at those rocks.
yeah,
Look at those realistic looking rocks there.
Now, if I could take the rock and hit somebody in the head with it, thank you. But no.
Look, if I can take it out the game and actually use it, yes. If not, I don't care.
yeah. Like and that rolls into my next thing about Phil Spencer and transparency. Look, transparency should never be a bad thing.
No, it should.
Never. I get people don't like what he said, and some people are taking victory laps because they think that, see, this means, see, we told you Microsoft was evil. Like, okay, first of all, one, everything ain't Phil Spencer's fault because
It's not. No.
he got left that mess. Y'all remember Don Matrick?
Don
Yeah.
Matrick.
Yeah,
This is true.
yeah. Like
For
the guy
everybody
that
that
gave
wants to be
everybody a
able to
blank
play
check.
offline,
Yeah,
for everyone that wants to play offline games, we have Xbox 360 for that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Remember that?
Oh,
So
I remember that one.
yeah. So a lot of this stuff, yeah. Now could they have done other things to help their situation? Of course.
Sure.
You have
Definitely.
Rareware. You don't need to buy everybody. You don't need to buy all these other studios. You got Rareware.
Mm-hmm.
You have their catalog.
Correct.
Every game don't have to be open world, all online. Every game ain't got to be that. Every game
No, it
does not
don't.
have to be that.
But everybody looking for that haymaker though.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't have to.
But
You don't have
problem
to
with
do
the
that.
haymaker needs to follow a series of jabs and crosses. It don't just
Yeah.
get thrown out there.
Yeah.
You throw a haymaker, you miss, you get the uppercut to the chin, you knocked out.
Yeah.
Perfect Dark Zero is the perfect example of that.
Exactly. I mean, you
So
look at the Halo franchise. That's another perfect example.
yeah,
Like it didn't
Mm-hmm.
stay up. But I mean, even with the transparency, right? Like, yeah, he was being transparent. He looked like he's been through it. Like, I don't blame him. Like he's been going through hell this past week. But nonetheless, I mean, as you said, they don't need to acquire anybody. I mean, like you said, they have Rare. They definitely have older franchises that they haven't touched. I mean, yes, they're trying to bring Fable back, but God knows when we'll see that.
yeah,
But even if they dig in the bag, whether you go the Conquer route, you go the Banjo route, if you wanted to get back into Crimson Skies, because I thought that was going to come back at one point in time and it didn't.
yeah.
But they have franchises, and even though Jade Empire wasn't necessarily theirs,
They have the rights to
they
it.
have the
Though.
rights to it.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
like, dude. Like, if it's me, and this is just me thinking. It's just me thinking. If I'm in Phil's shoes, I'm like, okay, this has been a buzz. This whole Activision thing, it's probably gonna be a wash.
Mhm.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
We finna reset this mode. All right, we finna remaster a couple of these games to see
Yep.
what
Yes.
are people doing. First one,
Yep.
of course, Gemini. It's gonna get a
Yes.
remaster. We're gonna
Gemini
put
would
modern controls to
definitely.
it, and we're gonna do that. Jade Empire remaster, modern controls, clean up some of the lag, see what happens. Perfect Dark, we just gonna have to figure that out.
Blue Dragon,
yeah,
Blue Dragon,
yeah,
get that Japanese crowd going.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since we all buddy with Nintendo, hey, let's work together
Yeah,
because we already cool.
And,
We already cool, so let's
and
let's
go
really
ahead and
let's really make Sony mad. Let's how about we do a Halo Metroid crossover? Let's
look,
really
I've
make them mad.
been touting that for
Now that
years.
would be yes.
I've
Let's
been
really piss
touting
them
that
off
for
because
years.
now Sony can't say jack and they can't say nothing
nothing.
because
And
we ain't buying Nintendo. We working together. They can't say
working
nothing
with
now.
them.
Now they can't
One
say
half of the
nothing.
game stays on Xbox, one half of the game stays with Nintendo.
Yep. And I do it like that. Just and that way they ain't got to worry about nothing. But that's just me thinking. I mean, I know that it ain't that easy, but the remaster thing is easy. But That last part ain't gonna be easy, but I would definitely
Look,
do it if I'm
this is a Nintendo that might consider it.
yeah. Because it's not we're not
Look,
taking their character. We just having one game on their system, one game on ours, and it's a
hey,
crossover.
look, if we really gonna be buddy with Nintendo, let's make that Doom crossing game happen.
Yeah. That would be
Yes.
hilarious and awesome all at the same time. Rip and tear with Isabel.
Dark Void, I agree. They should have never let Tomb Raider go.
Nah,
Never.
Nope.
Mhm.
Deus
Mhm.
Ex, same thing. Legacy of Kain. I haven't seen that
Yep.
game since what, Dreamcast?
Ever.
Dreamcast, yeah, when they
Right.
did the
PS2.
what was it, that collection, I think it was
Yeah.
on Dreamcast. What's up, Sandstorm?
Yo, what's good?
Man, let me hide my chin. Hold on. This man.
This is actually like real lazy right now. Usually it's all straightened out, comes to a point. I've just
Man,
been doing so much, man.
Oh,
I've
man,
been
out here
doing
with
so
the
much.
horses, man. You know what I mean?
Okay, so now that we have Sandstorm here, what's your thoughts on the whole Phil Spencer transparency situation?
Oh man. I think more to the fact that what's up with all these people and calling for his job. Like they so
This
Reminds you of
is
Iwata, don't it?
reminiscent.
It reminds you of
Yeah.
Iwata, don't it?
yeah, I was just about to say that. So we literally just got the same thing with the whole Awada situation. We even had it with what's my Fizame
Yeah, Richard.
for part of it. And it's like, yo, y'all really calling for this man neck because y'all ain't getting what y'all want. But
Mhm.
like at the end of the day, for one, I'm not a huge Xbox fan, so I can't call it like y'all call it. But if it was my team, if we were still going through the Awada stuff like that and still going through it, I was still having fun. I was still playing games. I don't know about
Right.
anybody else, but
I
I
was
was still I was still enjoying my games. I don't, y'all were crying and complaining about these third party companies not coming and them doing not a good enough job for the marketing and stuff like that. And yeah, granted that was true, but I was still enjoying the games that I got. And he came
Mhm.
through. He actually came through and was like, I apologize. Like Nintendo is not really doing it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they come out with a game and it didn't hit the stuff that it hit really badly, yeah, they'll say something. But they not gonna get on with another like podcast or anything like that and be like, yo, this is what happened. I'm sorry that this happened. We really believe like that's not happening. They're gonna be like, look, these are the sales numbers that we got. This is what we got. We apologize. Famous legendary words, please understand. And you might get some sort of update like in the coming time. So to hear Phil Spencer be like, yo, I still support them, I still stand behind them. And the product that they had, we did promise this didn't come through. Sony ain't doing that. They ain't do that for No Man's Sky. We promised this and this didn't happen. This didn't come through. And like I take blame and I take fault for that, and we are working on it. Like, get a man a break. Like, yo, we still waiting for games. I know this.
Yeah,
I'm
we
with
see
you.
it.
We
see
we
it.
still waiting for what is it? 19? Is it 19
Yeah,
different
19.
developers? Is that what they
I,
got?
I thought you about to say 19 games. I was like, I ain't heard of them. What I missed?
Like that's
19
new.
different developers and we still really haven't gotten like any proof of recognition that they actually exist with these products. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But just know that they're still there. Like you're not hearing Microsoft talking about, okay, well, we got 19, we got to shuffle some of these cats out.
Right.
Like we bit off more than we could chew. They're still dealing with the whole Activision and Blizzard thing. That's not done. And it's like, yo, just chill out for a minute. Like you can be mad. You don't have to come for somebody's neck. You don't have to cancel them. You don't have to turn them off or anything like that.
Or
just
have them fired. Like everybody's so quick to say get fired. Like have somebody fired.
You know what I'm saying? And it's so crazy because Sony went through the same thing during the PS3 era.
People were mum.
So
quiet.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it doesn't happen in all the camps. We've all been through it. but there's always content for y'all to enjoy. Y'all talking about first party not really showing up. That's okay. You still got third party still coming to you.
Yeah.
So like you still got
They can't
games.
complain. They can't complain about that.
No, you still got games. And if you ain't playing them here, you got Game Pass. So we ain't got no Game Pass. We ain't talking about we can try out a game before we buy it. No, you either buy it, it either has a demo or it's not getting played. That's just how it goes. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it, man. I say chill out with all that. Like, be mad, but stop coming
Bring
for
it
people's
down.
heads. Yeah.
Bring it down a little bit. Bring it down a notch.
I do have one point to add to that, and it's the thing that everybody's harping on that feels sad. That even though it's a very true statement, it's a very true statement. Nobody wants to think about it. They just want to jump the gun. Like, nah, we need to get rid of them. He said, "Hit games will not change the landscape right this moment for Xbox." And it's not a lie because it didn't do it for the Wii U.
It surely didn't.
No,
the Wii U had hit after hit after hit coming out behind each other for a while.
Yeah.
And it did not change the sales numbers for that platform at all.
Right.
Let me plug something real quick, Andre, before it happens, because it always happens. I heard it on other podcasts. Just because the marketing didn't work in the beginning doesn't mean your goofy ass didn't know what the Wii U was a year later. So it's not that the marketing was that bad. Yes, we understand. People thought it was an extension of the Wii in the beginning.
I still don't know how
You
that
did not
worked
think
out.
that was the same thing over a span of 5 years. Cut it out. Like that's no.
That was saying like from the end of 2013 to like to the end of 2015. That run that they had, there was game after game after game after game.
Yeah.
There were people complaining. There were people complaining during this time frame that Super Mario 3D World was not on the PS4.
Yeah,
remember that. There were people mad that Super Mario 3D World was not on the PS4.
Remember how mad they got
The
about
platform that was outselling the Wii U at the time had worse games.
Yeah, go third party.
Remember Xenoblade Chronicles X? Remember they was complaining about that because they were trying to make up excuses why the open world wasn't that good. I was just laughing. I'm like, y'all ain't played this game. Y'all did not play this game.
Or my whole rant about the PS4 Pro and making games look slightly better, but we still didn't get better AI. And the Wii U gets Breath of the Wild, which is a masterpiece in comparison to every other game that came out on the PS4.
All right.
Man, why you had to say that? Now you finna have the fanboys.
I'm trying to be quiet. Okay?
I sound like somebody who cares.
Because you know what they're gonna say.
I'm pretty sure that.
Horizon was better.
That's why I got blown out the water. That's the only reason, and anybody can be mad at me for saying this. The only reason that Horizon has even comparable sales to Breath of the Wild is because of discounts. Breath of the Wild sold what it sold with no discount.
Full price.
I don't think
no discount.
Yeah, because the first discount it got was like 2020 at Christmas. It went to like 40,
and that didn't last long. That did not last long. That lasted for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it lasted.
You didn't catch it during that time. You didn't get it.
But the same thing that we talk about on the show quite a bit that I think a lot of people overlook is the optics of the media, right? Yeah. To where when we talk about the Wii U, we know that thing got ran through the washer because people wanted Nintendo out of here. When it came down to where I just saw up here with RJ, well, no, it wasn't RJ. I'm sorry. It was Wilton. Talk about the Dreamcast. When it came down between Dreamcast and PS2, they got it up out of here. Now, granted, Sega had some doing with that, with the Saturn transfer to the Dreamcast. I understand all that. But then also, too, with Xbox, let's keep it a buck. Now that Nintendo's kind of gone their own route, it's that PlayStation versus Xbox. And there's more people that care about PlayStation than they do Xbox, especially in the media scene. So I feel like Phil is correct. Like, yes, you can still put forth the effort to put the games out there. I won't refute that. But when it comes down to if you're just going to like switch and jump ships, no, they're not going to do that because there's always going to be there's always going to be Xbox hate that comes out of nowhere because people love their beloved Sony. Like, that's just what it is.
Sony always wins, baby.
We have that saying for a reason.
Even when they losing.
Right.
Even when they losing. Yeah. So, all right, Sandstorm, since you're here,
yes, sir.
and you did play Jedi Survivor.
I played a lot of it actually.
So I'm just gonna let you have the floor for a few minutes for Jedi Survivor. First, I do have to ask you this: you're playing on PC, right?
Yep.
Have you run into any of these glitches that people on console have been running into? Because I've seen a couple bad ones.
As far as the glitches from console, I don't know about them because I haven't looked at the console side.
Okay.
But we're gonna get into the whole performance part first.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a story there.
Oh, it's a whole story. It's definitely a whole story. So we played this day one. I think that night, I believe. So I made sure and had everything loaded up. And it's so funny because I never watched Digital Foundry, but like they like for this, they were pretty much there. They were pretty much there. I don't really like to agree with a lot of things that they say because usually I don't run into those problems. But let me start off with the good.
Okay.
So going from Fallen Order and how that game played, if anybody doesn't know, it kind of plays like a Souls game ish. It was like they looked at Souls, but was like, all right, we got it. We don't have to watch the whole thing. We got it. Like this is how you.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
So as far as that goes, like the combat and stuff like that in that game, it was all right. It wasn't bad by any means. It was a breath of fresh air because we hadn't gotten a Jedi game, and I don't know when's the last time. Long time. Yeah, right. So to come off and have a Jedi game with a very good story. I love the story from Fallen Order. I think it's a very good story. It was pretty good. The character in the first one felt a little bit heavy. The moves were a little bit clunky. But it was a good start. So to come into this, the second one, and to see his growth. I said this yesterday in the podcast. The difference between like Luke and Empire Strikes Back and him and Jedi, if you watch his facial expressions in Empire Strikes Back, he still kind of has that like, what are we gonna do? Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But when you see him in Jedi, like he's got that like glazed look about him, like I ain't worried about nothing, bro. Like I'll take all of y'all out. It is no problem to me. Like glazed look, like my man's is not there.
He said, "Let's go."
Yes, he will kill you. It's funny because the main character in this one, Cal, he has that same look between the first one and this one. Like when you first see him, he has that glazed look like, oh, we about to go into battle. Oh, okay. All right, y'all stand back. I'm gonna go ahead and handle this. Matter of fact, y'all go over there. I'll handle all these people. But Cal, it's okay. Don't worry about me. I got you. So you can immediately tell is the growth. The one thing I really love is the fact that they don't give you the Metroid treatment of taking all your abilities away that you had. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you pretty much start off with everything that you had at the end of 2. They kind of slide you into like some of the stances that he would have technically already had in 1.
Okay.
They just kind of like, situational happens, and then he's just like, bow, there's a second lightsaber, and you're like, oh shoot, he does have it. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the story goes so far, it's been really good. The worlds are a lot more vast, and I would say more optional, not open, but more optional for you to go this way versus going that way. But like story wise, it still kind of gives you that, climb up this. Oh, this is going to fall as you move. So you can climb through this way. It's still kind of all that. The combat is the one right there, though. The combat is because he's not as heavy anymore. He feels a little bit lighter, a little more floatier. The moves are on point. Like some of those, you'd be like, "Ooh, my hands!" It's a great way to. It's a good sight to see him at a Jedi Knight level and be able to pull off some of the moves that he pulls off. You start off with a bunch of different colors. They don't throw in your face like Here's a reward. Here's a treasure chest. Here's another treasure chest. Here's another treasure chest. I thought it it's at a point where like I kind of had to look it up. I told Vito I had to look it up. Like, man, do we get any other lightsaber parts? Because it's been kind of I've been going through this game for a long time, and I ain't seen no lightsaber parts. I didn't even know it was a thing, and then I kind of ran into it. So those are the good things. Like the game is compelling, the gameplay is on point. I love the fight mechanic, the fight system. The one thing that is still kind of off is the block. I feel like it's still a little bit, it's a little bit slow, but it's improved over the first one. The bad thing about the whole game is the performance. Like it
Even on PC.
Oh man, PC was the worst. PC
Oh wow.
PC was the worst, and they even came up with a patch May 1st at the beginning of last week to do like a minor patch over things, and it really didn't help out at all. When you load the game, the first time you load the game, it says that it's optimizing files. So it takes about 5 to 7 minutes to do that. So you're like, oh, okay, first time playing a game, it's optimizing the files. It actually does that every single time you turn on the game.
Oh
And
no.
from my understanding, Digital Foundry did kind of a look over, and the first time it happens, you can see that the CPU is actually doing something. Every time after that, your CPU, GPU, nor RAM move in clock speeds, which means nothing's happening. But you still have to wait 5 to 7 minutes for it to optimize files, and it's really not doing anything at all.
Wow.
You said
Somebody
5
go
to
back through
7.
that code. Somebody need to go back through that code.
Yep. When it comes to frames, and I'm like the person who is the least critical about frames, the frames they get atrocious, man.
Oh.
Not in your combat and not during your fighting. It's more when you're traversing and when you have to set up for a cutscene. So, for instance, there's an area where you fight outside, you fight a boss right outside a cantina. Boss fight is awesome. Great dialogue, everything in that boss fight. After you beat that boss fight, you can still traverse around the area before you go into the cantina. But if you run into the cantina, it will slug down to almost maybe 1 or 2 frames so badly that you start hearing the dialogue for the cinematic before you even see your character actually go into and it's not just this situation. It happens every time through any cinematic that you go through. It slugs so badly that when the game finally decides to catch up, it kind of rushes through all the motions to catch up with the actual dialogue that's being said, and you're like, dang, what?
Wow. Okay.
Did I miss something? Like what?
Did they not quality control this game?
I don't.
Not at all.
We know I wasn't on that quality control team.
It's
Wasn't me.
very bad. Yeah, it's very bad.
That shouldn't happen on a game from EA. That should not.
No, and definitely not coming. I know you have a bunch of different configurations for PC and stuff like that. I'll even tell you this. I'm not even playing at 4K. Like at first I was playing at 4K and I was just like, nah, I would rather just dial it back and just have the performance be a little bit better. It doesn't change anything. From 4K to 1440p, there's no change. And there's different resolutions in between there that you could pick from, but it does not change at all. Like it's a mess all the way through. I don't even want to try checking it out at 720p because if I still get the same result,
that's going.
Why? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's visually, it's a very looking good, or a very good looking game, but the performance, man, that's something. Vito's told me a little bit about the console version. He said the first time he turned it on, it was like with the HDR and everything. You know how you set it up with I think you set it up with the white tones first, and then you set it up with the black tones. He said he set it up the way they wanted him to set up, and then when you go into the starting screen, it was like completely black. So he
Oh,
had to
wow.
turn the HDR off and then turn it back on and reset it and look it up to see how the settings were actually supposed to be. But he said he almost turned the white to the whitest white and then turned the blacks almost to a gray, not even to a black, before he was able to see. So
Oh
it's
my.
Crazy.
yeah,
Okay.
it's a mess. If I was anybody who was interested in this game, I would definitely say wait until you hear about a major patch from like anywhere across the board, whether it's PC or
Wow.
consoles, before picking it up. It is a good game. It is a very
Mhm.
good game. And if you played the first one and you want to know the story is good, bro. The story
Okay.
is good.
Because I had planned on picking it up later this year anyway, so
Same.
yeah, I
Yeah,
wasn't gonna pick it up at launch.
Wow.
But I didn't know it was that bad either. I just saw like people were saying like something ain't right with this, and then I know EA
Mhm.
put out their statement saying they are aware of the issue, aware of some of the issues, and they're gonna be releasing a patch. But
yeah. It's
that's
man.
bad.
Yeah,
You just
like
hurt my feelings.
I know,
I'm
right?
so sorry.
Hurt my feelings.
Everything that you want in the game from the first one to this one
Is in
is
there.
yes, like
It's
Okay.
okay.
the customization for the weapons to like your skills and all that other stuff. Like the training, remember the training wasn't in like when you first went
Mhm.
through the game. You had to beat the game in order to get the little training piece. That
Which
training
made
part
no
is
sense.
already there from
Okay.
beginning. Yeah, it made no sense. That's from there from the beginning, so you can go into training and train as long as you want to. I don't know if that like equates to you getting any skill points or anything like that, but um, the customization of BD1 that's there, so you can make him look different.
Yay.
The changing of the hair and your beard, you can look. My man's like but uh, the shirts and the pants and all that, the customization is pretty much there. So that's the strongest point of the game, along with the combat. It's just the performance is just ouch. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if EA was just like, yo, get this sucker out here. But I feel like that was a quick turnover for that game from being talked about, like first being talked about, to like now. Like
Well,
it
there's
wasn't years, was it? I feel like
it was about a
only
year
known
and a
about this
half.
for yeah.
About a year and a
So
half. But I mean, if you're using all these same assets, it shouldn't be a
it shouldn't, because they are all the same assets. It's
yeah.
no different. It ain't like they used a completely different engine. This
Yeah.
isn't, Unreal. Well, that wouldn't matter even if it was Unreal to Unreal 5,
Yeah,
Unreal 4 to
yeah, it's
Unreal
still
5. That
scalable,
wouldn't,
so it wouldn't
yeah.
matter. Yeah.
But it's not like they went with a whole different engine, different characters, different face models, like all these assets, and Top K versus Breath of the Wild. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even though that's a little bit different, they had to do a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That stuff was already scalable. But even if you came into the situation where like, yo, this is kind of taking a hit, you're not dropping during holiday season. This
Mhm.
isn't during a magic month, if you will. Like you had time to push back. You had time to
Yeah.
be like,
Mhm.
Because unlike everything else, like it didn't get multiple delays.
Right.
Like you could have
no,
delayed this.
I don't think it got a single delay. As a
No,
matter
it
of fact,
didn't. That's
so
what I'm saying.
It didn't.
They could have delayed. They could have delayed. They could have delayed this.
yeah,
They could have lied.
The lie.
They could have lied.
Good one.
They delied. Yeah, they delied.
The lie.
They delayed. All right. Oh man. Okay. Well, like I said, I had already planned on picking it up later in the year anyway, so I wasn't because Tears of the Kingdom. There was no way in the world I was getting that before Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
Just
We're
was no
gonna
way.
pick it up when it's $20 in the bargain bin.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
there's nothing wrong with that. That game is worth a play, just not currently.
not currently. Okay. All right. Well, there's that. So people, that's why I wanted him on here because when I started seeing that stuff, I'm like, oh, this is bad. So I'm like, let me get somebody who actually played it.
To Jobo,
Yeah.
he said, "Can I pull a Star Destroyer down?" I'm gonna say I haven't gotten that far. But I highly doubt Cal is capable of
Star
dropping
Killer.
Star Destroyer.
So yeah, he is Star Killer.
He is not Star Killer.
He,
So
he is not Star Killer Luke or Vader.
No,
yeah.
he's competent. I would say he's if Kyle Katarn was name brand, then Cal Kestis is like Sam's Club or Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a generic brand. You know what I'm saying? He's still good. He can come in. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you gonna get a real good deal for him. But he ain't all that. He ain't all
That's funny.
that.
He is the off-brand shoe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He the Nike with the swoosh upside down. You know what I'm saying? He the
Oh.
Jordans with the layup instead of the dunk. You know,
Oh man. Okay. So all right, so people, you heard it from Sandstorm. You might want to wait to pull the trigger on that if you haven't already. So just keep that in mind. So genre love, the arcades, because I have been sorely missing Simpsons and X-Men, and you know those, because I was playing the Cowabunga collection, right? And I was going back through playing TMNT, the arcade game, and I was like, dude, that was like one of my favorite arcades to play. That one and Afterburner. So it got me thinking, like, what should get some arcade love, whether it be a port or like, you know, because I know they did Bad Dudes, which I thought was hilarious that Johnny Turbo them put the Bad Dudes game out on everything, which, and they kept the horrible dialogue in there too. Jeez, they kept the horrible dialogue. So
I mean, that's what made it what it was.
I know. I mean, like, you got to save President Ronnie from ninjas. But
the animations are horrible too. But that lends to its charm.
You gotta love the 80s. But that being said, I want to get everybody's thoughts on, like, what are some arcade games that you think people would probably go to, or like I know people will play The Simpsons. I already know people play The Simpsons. You've been wanting a hit and run remake for the longest,
right?
So I know they'll play that Simpsons arcade game, and I know the X-Men one would probably do well as well. So I'll start off with Andre, because I know Andre is the master of this one. So what are a couple you think could actually get some love if they actually did a re-release or a port of some sort to modern systems?
Well, yeah, you picked the first two that I was gonna go with, which was the Simpsons and the X-Men, because those was damn near immaculate.
Legendary.
Let's see. Gosh, there's so many to think about. Well, I was gonna do a video on this anyway, because Nintendo could do it. And that's the Nintendo versus cabinets that they used to have.
Oh, I remember
like
those.
Get those, make that a whole series to itself on Nintendo Switch Online, and make it competitive online with people with leaderboards and stuff up for everybody to jump on. So you'd have like the arcade version of Super Mario Brothers, the arcade version of Mario Brothers, Castlevania, and a couple other games that they had on there. I think there was like 10 in total that were
like Dr. Mario one of them.
Yeah, I think so. And you could do a whole leaderboard thing and have a whole lot of online communication and have like more than just two people compete back and forth with each other, or even maybe if they were smart enough. I mean, well, they are smart enough, but they may not be savvy enough to go ahead and put in like a spectator mode for people to watch other people compete. Another one, because I am a racing fanboy when it comes down to arcades, I would love to see more Daytona games happen, like Daytona USA. I would love to see
That was me.
the arcade. I would love to see the arcade version of that. I would love to see arcade versions of that get put online on consoles somewhere, so everybody can jump on. Like have 8 people racing and crashing into each other, or the Rush games, any of those from the arcade. What is it I'm thinking of? And we were just talking about it. Well, you were just talking about it last week because you can ride dinosaurs and stuff.
Cruising World.
Cruising. Yeah, the other cruising games. Bring them right over the consoles, put them out, and just do a collection of them. Have them online for people. I would be the one I would be the one that would be on the back of a T-Rex while somebody is riding in a Huffy. I don't care. I would do that. Stomp you along the way. And maybe even go back to if Capcom could work out a deal with Disney, go back and take all the Capcom versus games, the Marvel versus Capcom series of games, and release those from X-Men: Children of the Atoms to Marvel superheroes to X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel superheroes versus Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. Fuck 3 and above.
Yeah. Because one of mine was going to be X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I love that game.
Or hey, work out another deal with SNK. Re-release the Capcom versus SNK games. There's options. There's tons of options. It's just, I mean, Capcom releases Street Fighter 2 all the time. Just do something else.
Hey.
They're gonna re-release that, and just like Sony gonna re-release Last of Us every generation.
Right.
Like you will play Last of Us on every Sony console.
Everyone after 3, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, all right. Broadway, what about you?
Y'all keep calling out the stuff that I'm gonna say, so I'm sitting here like, well, can't use that one. Well, that's my whole list. Okay. He said Daytona, you said The Simpsons. So it's like, and of course, y'all know I'm always Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man. I'm older than you guys, I believe. So yeah, those are mine. I just my kids are gonna get exposed to it anyway. We're not gonna talk about how or why.
That's what's
Don't want
up.
to get anybody in trouble. All right, all right.
That's what's up.
But yeah, my list is pretty short. When you talk
Second
about
tag
Daytona,
tournament.
I could go back to, oh yeah.
I mean, look, if you talking Pac-Man, hey, Rally X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do Galaga, Galaxian.
It's Centipede, Space
Yeah,
Invaders, all of
Centipede.
those. Asteroid. Well, and when you talk about racing, go all the way back to pole position. I mean, really, like we can talk about it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, look, like I said, there's options. People talk about game preservation, but nobody's talking about that stuff.
No, they're not.
Because they don't really
Only talk
care.
about
That's
we
how I
only
know they're
talk about
lying.
game preservation.
They don't really
We only talk
care.
about game
Right.
preservation if we can play the games for free.
Yeah, like that's how you know they're lying.
Right.
That's how you know they're lying. All right, so Jack, what about you, man?
So for me, growing up for the arcades, I was mainly with the fighters, right?
Okay.
So we got lucky enough to get Mortal Kombat, so
Mortal
that was
Kombat.
a big thing for me. Now even though I was introduced to it console first, I ended up liking the arcade more, and that was Final Fight. So getting into that Final Fight series, Time Crisis, pretty much like everything from Sega at this point, because they
That's
had
All the
nostalgia.
Sega, all the
like like
Yeah.
Sega was like that go-to for everybody. But then also too, one that I haven't played since 64, and I remember me and my cousin stayed up like religiously playing Rampage. Like as simple as that game was, it was like, okay, you just got 3 characters, try to get the high score, smashing buildings, getting shot, like the whole nine, getting electrocuted. Say tanks coming in, knocking you down. Like we would just stay up playing that game, but then playing the arcade version, because they actually have one at Dave and Buster's. Now it's not like the classic one; it's like the newly crappy version of Rampage.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, mainly for me, it will come down to those games. But mainly it's Sega for me. Like Sega, that's why I love the Dreamcast so much, because I didn't get an opportunity to go to arcades later down the line. Because they were shutting down a lot in my city, because I had a very small city. I grew up in Enterprise, Alabama. So they were shutting down a lot. And even the bowling alley we had was trying to convert to bring more people in. So they were getting rid of the arcades at the time. So the Dreamcast was big for me when it came down to arcade-like games, and having games like Power Stone and having Ready to Rumble, Crazy Taxi, and all those games that really were arcade-like and were on console.
Oh, the arcade game for Crazy Taxi is fun.
Yeah,
If you
the
play
arcade
the
game,
arcade version,
Mm-hmm.
especially
Ooh,
the
that
Big
is-
Apple. The Big
The
Apple.
Big
Yeah.
Apple. Big Apple. Yep.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
That game was too much fun. All right, Sandstorm, what about you?
Man, yo, I'm about to hit y'all with some knockers, man. I've been patiently waiting for my turn to hit y'all with the bangers. We already know we got Soul Calibur.
Mm-hmm.
We got Gauntlet Legend. Don't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Nice.
I
got
slept on that at one point in time. Yes, I did.
we got like Vicky said, House of the Dead. Even show she not throwing no respect.
No. If you want to say House of the Dead, if you want to say House of the Dead, it can't just be the first one. It's gonna be House of the Dead 2 and 3.
Yeah,
What about
yeah.
typing?
If you
What
talking
about
about
typing?
arcade,
What about the
Uh,
type House of the
that,
Dead?
that's House of the Dead 2 with Titan.
you got we just talked about this yesterday, and I still religiously believe if you bring this game back, everybody will be on it. The Star
Pod
Wars
Racer.
Pod Racer.
Yes,
With the controls, you know what I'm saying? With the whole
I'm with it.
controls.
I have the whole thing sitting here
Oh,
looking
you
free.
know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Please believe that is the game right there. We've got oh, what is the name of that game?
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Yes, that's what I
Yes.
was thinking.
How
Yeah.
the hell did you call that? Like, it's
Yeah.
Oh, because
Look,
that was like one of the first light gun games that actually,
Yeah.
because the RoboCop one wasn't
they
that
didn't
good.
take off.
No,
Terminator
Didn't
no.
work
was.
right in our.
Yeah.
The Terminator one and the
Aliens.
Alien versus Predator one was
Yes.
also another good one.
Yeah,
Yes.
those two light gun games before House of the Dead them came out. Those two actually played like they were supposed to. RoboCop did not. RoboCop was like RoboCop. Everybody in the arcade knew if you went on that RoboCop machine, you finna lose $5.
Yep.
Jeez.
If we talking about arcade fighters too, you know, Killer Instinct, obviously, a game that I was all over it, and I feel like it got more hate than I feel like it should have. Primal Rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that game got heavily disrespected.
Yeah, I don't understand why. If you want
And
to
I
go,
actually liked it. Yeah.
I love that game. If you want to go sports, please stop it. NBA Jam, please stop
You
it.
got to.
Yeah,
Please stop
That's
it.
literally
He's a
the
liar.
worth your time.
NFL
Liar.
tournament edition
Stop it.
specifically.
Blitz.
Tournament edition specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta do tournament edition because the first one you couldn't switch characters.
No,
It was kind of weird, but
yeah, man. There's so much. There's so many games that they could just really bring back, and I feel like they would. I feel like they would jump off. The problem is just like arcades now are just like tablet games, and that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you just need
Oh.
a platform to do it. I think like
I-
because that's why I think like one of the things I think like Andre said, Nintendo could probably pull that off.
Nintendo,
better
the only
than
one
anybody
can.
else
Mhm.
because they have no problem selling you a light gun.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have no problem.
The screwy thing is, in the games did get released further out, and I was just thinking about it because they have a special twin stick that also came out for the Sega Saturn that was in the arcade, and that's the Virtual On game because they had the special stick for it, and you could literally with the Nintendo Switch make a base for it and just put the daggone Joy Cons on it, and you have your controller set to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Making too much sense.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
it's
I don't
actually
know.
true.
That's one thing too. I mean, when we talk about arcade games, I think it was the controllers that really made it everything for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
whether you talk about, okay, I'm gonna go play Mario Kart. Yeah, you can play Mario Kart on the Switch, but if you behind a wheel and you sitting in the seat, like everything adds to it. The light guns, the arcade sticks themselves, like even though you get one now in your house, you know, it's different. So I mean, I don't know how you replicate that, which I highly doubt you can without having a house full of stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, somebody gonna have they closet jam packed with all these different holders and light guns and boxes, and
Well,
they'll be happy. Like, no,
they got
party.
the what was it's like I forget the name of it, but there's like this big ultimate dream arcade machine that they sell, and you can like it has the arcade controllers, it has a light gun holder, and then it also pairs Bluetooth or pairs with the Xbox and PlayStation controllers. Like
Mm.
Yeah, I saw
everything's
those
on
on
there.
Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
On Amazon.
The only thing you don't have is a steering wheel.
Now, here's one that y'all haven't said, and it's the one of the ones that I remember because there was a cockpit that you had to get into. Afterburner.
Afterburner.
Afterburner. Yep.
Yeah.
And you actually, because I could never land. I could take off. I could do all the dogfighting. I just couldn't land. So
You
I
can
would
take off and
always
play
lose.
the fight.
I complete the
I
mission.
feel like
and
you're gonna
lose.
run out of gas.
Yeah, I complete the mission and lose because I couldn't land. I couldn't land to save my life. I was crashing into that air carrier every time. Good memories.
Yes, sir.
That the Samurai Showdown games, because
Yes.
Broadway, you know this. My brother used to beat the brakes off of me in Samurai Showdown 3 and 4 at George Southern. He
beat everybody.
He would just be beating me. So much so to the point I called Mama told him. But that being said, the Samurai Showdown games, like 3 and 4 especially, their arcade was like amazing. And Killer Instinct, not Gold. What was it called in the arcade? It was called something else in the arcade, but the Killer Instinct was actually good too. And Tekken Tag, you could, man.
I think it was just Killer Instinct 2 in the arcade.
Tekken Tag.
Yeah, I think it was Killer Instinct 2.
Okay, because Tekken Tag, you had to pry people off of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had to almost
create whole tournaments in the pool room. Yep.
Yeah. You had to almost put a gun on somebody to get them to get off the doggone game.
They be talking about fight me. Like, man, just get off the game.
Nah, you know what I miss about the arcades though? When people would have their coin and they just put the coin up like, I got next.
Yeah,
I got next. I got next.
Yep.
Bro, I never got a chance to even touch Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcades because literally there was crowds of people, and people had like their quarters lined up on the screen, just like I got next. I was like, you know what?
So you just see a whole row. Like, who quarter is that? Is that Bobby's quarter?
You know what's so
the fact that you knew who quarter it was. That's the sad thing. We can recognize the quarter. That's Tom. No, that's Tim. Okay, what?
You know,
but nah, Jerome. That was Jerome. Don't you touch that? That was Jerome.
Jared's bathroom. We gonna go get him. Wait, what?
It was.
No, he gonna have to wait.
It was
in the back of the ride.
They would have everybody would be at Mortal Kombat 3 and you'd be like, man, I want to play. And Mortal Kombat 2 sitting right next to there, vacant. I want to play Mortal Kombat 2.
Yep.
And your mama don't understand. She just like, just play that one right there. Ain't that the same thing?
No.
Look, you got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That part.
Different, man.
The funny thing about it was like, yeah, I used to have those problems with Mortal Kombat, Tekken Tag Tournament, and Killer Instinct. But that's how I started getting on Cruising and Terminator and what's the Jurassic Park game. That's how I got turned on to them because like I could never get on the only time I could get on the fighting games I wanted to get on was on Saturday morning because I was up before everybody else.
Yep.
I think it was dope too. They always had like they knew what game was like the game, and it was placed in the right spot, and it always had the biggest screen. Like everybody, if you about to get smashed, everybody about to see you get worked. Like,
yeah.
This is not a private whooping.
No,
right.
Because Georgia Southern was wrong. They set it up right in front of the door so everybody come by see
yes,
it.
sir.
It was right in front of the door because like so the doors are set up like this. You can see the main game, the game that everybody on is right there. So if they come in the student union going in and out, they see you
and look left.
They see yourself getting destroyed. You're like, that is so wrong.
I worked out.
Walking in to watch you get your ass whooped.
Yeah. I'm like, put it right in the doorway. Like, y'all really have to do it. Y'all gonna put it over there in the back.
That makes me think of the arcade I used to go to. Actually, my parents actually used to take me to the arcade a lot. But the arcade I used to go to had like 3 or 4 of the fighting games lined up where you could see them out the doorway into the mall. Because I played on the. Because at the last time I was there, where I played with anybody in any fighting games, it was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was there. I think the first Capcom versus SNK, and then SNK versus Capcom were all lined up next to each other. and you could just see people getting their behinds whooped, like tore off over the
Yep.
like it was horrible.
Street Fighter 2 was another one of those. What's Championship Edition?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just
Yeah.
watching people and you can see the one cat who's like losing real bad, getting mad, trying to press all the buttons and like moving real fast.
Mhm.
Looking back
Bro,
at
ain't
people
nothing
like,
you can do.
There's nothing.
Now here's the funny
Then
thing about
they get
Street
off the
Fighter.
sticks. Like, that was broken, man. That was you gave me broken.
Here's the funny thing about Street Fighter. Everybody would go to Street Fighter 2 and leave Alpha and 3 alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it was like it would be
That's
weird.
because nobody knew how to play those. Because I would crush people on those.
Yeah, like but they, like 3, especially 3. Like 3 would just be sitting there and nobody would be playing it. But Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition or Tournament Edition or whichever edition, because they kept a different box. In
Yeah, I'm
there.
about to say, stay with
Uh-huh.
it.
Mine.
But those stay packed, and I'm like, but 3 is got better characters. Y'all don't want to
It's
play? No,
way better.
I'm like, okay, all right.
Because everybody was stuck on the few characters they knew they didn't. And this might make me sound a little bit elitist because I played King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, which had a diverse characters.
Yeah.
So I wasn't stuck on just Ken and Ryu or Guile or
Or
Chun Li.
Yeah,
The name brand characters.
yeah. Because
Tell me, Terry Bogard ain't named Brandon. I will stomp you out.
Oh no.
hey, look,
No internal
Terry,
feuds.
Terry got a whole movie that used to come on Sci-Fi Network at night. So
Listen. If we being real, Terry was the reason that Evil Ryu existed.
basically, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I remember.
Let's tell the truth. Fatal Fury 2 movie, when Terry started doing that evil eye glow shit, that's what inspired Evil Ryu.
Yep, Masami Abari putting stuff in that wasn't in the game. But yeah, the Fatal Fury stuff was actually pretty cool. I could never. I think I saw that at one arcade. That box I never saw at a lot of different arcades. It would be like obscure where I would find it at,
Mhm.
and I never understood why. So
Capcom just had a hold of the market with Street Fighter.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. Well, because there was a couple like Tekken was never afraid of Street Fighter, and neither was Killer Instinct. They just wasn't afraid of Street Fighter. They were like, no, sit it right beside it.
They would hold their own. They would have big
It also didn't help that the Neo Geo machines to run those games were expensive
yeah,
as opposed to Capcom stuff.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Ah man, I miss a good arcade.
We say all that to say Marvel vs. Capcom, big screen. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
When Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out and people was bringing their Dreamcast controllers to transfer data.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember going to Savannah and doing that. That was wild.
So many people.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that until I went to Savannah and there was a kiosk where you could do that. I'm like, oh, it's on the popping now.
Yeah, because it had the controller ports right there. They had them in the front. I was like, I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, why are there Dreamcast controller ports in there? And then I read up about it. I was like, oh, that's why.
Serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was that serious. Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm saying, man, I really, really do miss the arcades. It was just, yeah.
Mhm.
It was a different time for us.
Yeah.
That was arcade. Like that was back when like consoles was actually your practice. And
Yeah.
arcade
Yes.
was your real. That was your online.
That's the
if you
show.
will. Yeah.
That was the online.
Yeah.
You in front of a crowd full of people because
Yeah.
it's even different
Mhm.
now. Like you play online, you in your house.
Yeah.
But you at the arcade, you got people sitting
Yeah.
behind you like, yo, you sorry. Like,
Yeah.
get off the stick.
Man, get off, man. Why you still trying to play? Why you still trying to play? Why?
Who told you you were good at this?
You done lost
Hey,
3 times in a row.
Hey, Playboy, go to the back. Wait a minute. What?
Like, bro,
You got $1
like, bro, you got on them sticks, you own that. Like, bro, you got on them sticks, you own that ass whooping. That's it.
Yes.
Basically.
This is for you. And
He
don't
talking
let
about
it be
But
all the
people
me.
games
Oh my
also-
that
god.
somebody else
Get
played.
whooped by a girl? Yes.
Bro.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Back then,
I was
that was a
hated. Oh
That-
my god.
that's when you take a quarter to slide and you quietly go back to over there where you quietly go over there and just
Hey,
get
the
on the
button,
bike and just
the
like,
button wasn't working. I was doing the combo. The button
Right, all the
wasn't.
excuses. It was stuck. It was
You
stuck.
see
She
me
got the good
tapping.
controller.
You
man, I'm-
see
I'm
me
letting her
tapping the
win.
yo,
button.
man, I'm
Like,
taking it
okay.
light on her, man. I'm taking it light on her. I don't want no
Exactly.
girl, man.
Hey,
how would
but
I
do you offer? Do you
I want
offer
her
the
to
swap
feel
sides?
good.
Like, no, we good. You got it. We good.
that was my last quarter. Ain't that the rest of your quarters? That $10 quarters? That ain't mine. That ain't mine.
I
That ain't
hear
mine.
your pocket jingling. I was good to tell somebody that. I hear your pocket jingling. Get back up here.
No. This is my brother. This ain't mine. This ain't my money. This is my brother's money. This ain't mine.
Arcades also did one thing that online gaming can't do. As much as people say online gaming is it is a community, but it's not the same type of community because you
Right.
don't have the direct interaction
Yeah.
with everybody. Because even though we talked a lot of trash, there was a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Because you like
Right.
even if you like
Somewhat.
you tell like yeah you trash at the game, but you still got up there and tried.
Yeah.
Right.
That part.
You still got up there and tried, and you didn't make personal jokes about people or their lives. You just talked about their skill in the game.
Because you knew you said it to the wrong person, you're gonna get your ass whooped. You can't
Yeah.
just
That
come
part.
Oh yeah,
online.
that's true.
No,
That
ain't
is
no
that is very
keyboard
true.
confidence. No.
Cause,
And like, look, you talk about brother's mother. That's why you picking your teeth up off the ground. I'm sorry.
cause like,
Exactly.
He like,
cause
I swear to
everybody
God, you
had
better
that
be lucky I
one.
ain't got no pause button.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Real life is no pause. Yes, sir.
I will
You
reach
talk
over
to
there.
you talk to the wrong person. They brother 6'10", 290 and play for Florida State.
Ooh.
You don't want the problem.
Bro.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go tell my brother. Who your brother? Oh, that's your brother. I am such a big fan.
One time on football.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's the big
Well,
difference.
Miss Troy, I ain't
Online,
got
you can
no
say
problems
whatever.
with you, man.
You can say whatever online because ain't nobody gonna come find you.
Right.
It is what it is.
Well,
It'd be crazy. But
depending on the person,
yeah, I was
some
like,
people are
crazy.
crazy enough.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
For the
some people
most part,
nowadays
they
anyway.
ain't.
Some people are, but the majority aren't.
Yeah,
Now, in the
majority.
arcade setting, you can get it from anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
You
And
gotta be
if
careful.
the person working the register is that kind of dude, he'll let you get beat.
Oh yeah.
It won't call nobody.
Yeah.
Won't call
Nah,
nobody, no
Nah, he
help.
was running his mouth too much. He getting what he deserved.
And the worst,
They will
Exactly.
watch you.
the worst is
That
getting
work is
bodied
for
by the
you.
little kids who spam the same buttons,
Mhm.
and after they beat you, they be like, "Yes, I'm the best." You're like,
There is no more
Till somebody
sportsmanship.
got on. Till somebody got on that knew their little strategy and got around it. Then they walked off crying.
Yep.
and look, they don't hesitate to get back at him. Hey, I thought you was the baddest though. Get back over here.
Right.
Come on, get back
Like,
over here.
you,
Hey, look,
like,
wait,
wasn't it just
wait,
like 2 minutes ago? Like 2 minutes ago, you was just the best in the world. What happened, bro?
You can get it too, little kid. I don't care. That's your mama. Hey, he got
Put your
handled.
mom on the sticks. That's all. Like, wait, what?
Wow. See, that's what had me hated in the arcade, especially on Street Fighter, because I was good at it as a little kid. The adults didn't like me.
You teasing
They were
adult.
like, nah, you can't play no more.
You teasing adult.
You can't play no more, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Where your
that's
mama at?
Let the
that's the
little
easy way
kids
to play
play
the adult
together. You
card.
can't play.
Exactly. Y'all play the adult card. Like, yo, man, get out of here, bro. Like you a little kid. Let somebody else get on here. Mush them out the way. Just like,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you play. I'm gonna let you play this last one, but after you get beat, we moving you out the way. You ain't playing
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they don't beat you. And they sit there mad, twiddling their thumbs. Like, man, why can't we beat him?
And then that
Hold
one
up,
person
man,
that actually beats you.
Hey,
And
you know,
then here they come out of nowhere. You're like, I thought y'all left.
Right.
you know when they
Mama.
gotta win, they win so many. So they're like, all right, little man, when you get to 10 wins, you're gonna have to get up off the game.
Right.
That was number 10. All right, you done. Good job.
They say it just after you get number 9.
Exactly.
Well, no, we gotta roll you up out of here. I remember
No, it's too
somebody
many more
actually
people
tried to
that
do
want to play. Yeah.
somebody actually tried to do that to me. My mother was standing right behind them though.
Oh
the,
shoot.
the only
Run,
time
nearly shit bricks.
I was gonna say this, the only time that I really hated going to the arcade was somebody had their birthday party in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You'd be like, man, come on, man, y'all taking up all the good stuff.
yeah.
Exactly.
I,
Everything taken up.
I don't want to have to go play Pit Fighter in
Right,
the back.
right.
That game is horrible.
The only thing back there in the back is Pit Fighter and Punisher.
Oh yeah.
And
Punisher I play,
Punisher.
but Pit Fighter, hell no.
They'll be talking about, can I play one more time? Can I play one more time? Man, hurry up and play, man. Cause look, I got time. I gotta go too. I got stuff I gotta do too. Yay! Hey! We
And
can
then
play
call
one
everybody.
more time.
Yeah, they
Yes.
call everybody. Yeah.
Like I said you.
Oh
Mm-mm.
man.
Some of the
So
smoothest cars got run in the arcade.
yep.
Right.
That's how kids learn how to be little con artists.
Mhm.
But all right, people, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope everybody had a good time. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We appreciate you for stopping through. Jack, anything you want to pimp out?
No, not really, man. I just appreciate all the support for the album. Got a lot of people that came through for sure. I really appreciate it. I don't know if I can't announce this because he already put it up there, but me and TJ the Gamer, we did a song like a couple months ago. He's posting the video this Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. It's supposed to come up, May 11th. So, or that's Thursday. I bet. Yeah. So definitely check out on May 11th. Me, TJ the Gamer, the video for Game Over. So that'll be out, and then just continue supporting, man. I'm always dropping music and plan to just continue to do so from here on out, man.
All right, Andre.
Well, I mean, I do have some videos I'm working on, but at the moment, I am also working on my second not crossword, word search book, which I am going to get it to 100 puzzles. I'm done 40 now.
How do you do that? Like,
I found
I will get
it's
that.
trust me, it's hard as hell because the first book I did, the first word search book I did, the engine I found to make the word searches was horrible.
Mm.
The second one though makes the whole process smooth. I just
okay.
dump the words that I need, title it, and it does the rest. And then all I got to do is just get all my pages made and put them together and put them out.
Wow.
So
Nice.
Never even thought about doing
by
something like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
As
by
much as I love
summer,
word searches, me either.
Mm.
by this summer, I will be posting about it. If I can get it done before then, I will. But no later than this summer. I'm figuring by the end of this month, I'll probably have it done.
Okay. That's what's
And I
up.
just got to figure out my cover
Nice.
art for it. So, but look, you follow me on Twitter and also on here, and I'll have an announcement for it. I just got to get it finished.
Right.
Sweet,
Okay.
sweet. All right, Sansom.
Strangely enough, a lot of my puzzles are Capcom related right now.
I wonder why.
Sansom, what you got?
All right. So yesterday, Andre and I, along with my co-host Trey Vito, we celebrated May 4th for the weekend, talking about Star Wars gaming. Or gaming over the decades. So if you guys haven't seen that, make sure you check that out as well. On Thursday, Vito had it's not a Vitoverse, Vito variants.
Mhm.
So make sure you guys check that out as well. Monday, of course, I'll be on the Jill podcast as well, and I have no clue what we're going to talk about. So don't ask me. I just kind of jump in and fill in the space. But you guys can usually find us on the Sandstorm Show on Saturdays. So we have the Zelda Top K gameplay on Thursday.
Okay.
And the game comes out on Friday, but I'm at the point where like I really don't need anything else. So don't expect me to do a video on Thursday doing a live reaction to that because I am okay. But on Friday, we will be doing a podcast for the actual game. So we will have a first impressions for Top K. Oh, very important. Actually, this is the most important in the whole lineup. Shout outs to Sandbox, my son. He is officially turning 13 on Tuesday. So
Oh, wow.
Hey,
Congratulations.
happy
Woo.
birthday.
yeah, so we won't actually, even though I said we will have Sandstorm or the Stormcast on Saturdays, we won't have one this Saturday because it's just gonna be me and him and we're going out of town. So
Okay.
yeah, but outside of all of that, yeah. And make sure you subscribe to all these people.
That
Because
part.
if you haven't subscribed to any of them, make sure you subscribe and do so, man, so you can stay in the loop in all of our fun adventures. Because
Right.
it's been getting real. It's been getting real interesting.
Yeah, but everybody do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, Broadway.
Oh, as my dogs are barking in the background, my apologies, guys. But I'm a variety content creator. You guys can find me on Twitch, just branching out to YouTube and Kick at BR08DWAY. The stream is live about 4 days a week. So hopefully I'll see some of you there.
Oh, she's done this before. That was
Yeah,
professional.
Yeah.
She's done that before.
I have not.
that was definitely
That sounded scripted. She
Yeah.
had that laid out. You hear me?
I thank you.
Yeah.
I take that as a compliment. Oh, I guess I could plug that. Someone I actually, ironically, I called my son's teacher. My son is in college, and I called his theater teacher trying to help talk her into giving him some extra time on a test. And the end result of that conversation is she wants to get with me this summer to do some voiceover work.
See?
So
See? Fit
so
right in.
Yep.
we may see some work out of this, y'all. So you may see some script work. Thank you, Action Jack. I take that. I will accept that
Yes.
as foreshadowing.
For sure.
Man, Exodia, the age of 13 is where most kids become terrorists, but the age of
Oh, dear
13 is where son finds out that dad has Mugetsu. Don't try me.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. My oldest son is 11. I told him, I said, when you get to that teenage, do we boxing? There's nothing. Yeah, don't try me.
I ain't talking to you no more.
No, we ain't talking no more. We
go get
fighting.
You go get that one punch, that death.
Straight to the chest. Make you rethink life, homie. Like, you got asthma, but I don't care. Like, get your pump on deck.
Get your pump.
Like, look, listen. Go get your pump before we do this.
Exactly.
Go get your pump before we do this.
You better tell your mom. You better tell your mom.
It's just gonna take one solid hit. You ain't gonna be able to breathe. Trust me, you're gonna need it.
I'm patting your back too. Didn't I tell you? I told you. It wasn't a game no more.
I gave you a fair warning. I told you 3 weeks in advance.
I'm telling you, my man's is not. What's Cat on Netflix? What's his name? With him and his dad, and they always fighting. Baki. My man's not Baki. Don't worry about it.
I don't think I compare that relationship between you and your son because
That's
that's
a whole other
look, he come out the room. I think I can take that today. Next thing you know, he sleep.
yeah.
Nah, today is Friday. I put you out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, so I did a review earlier this afternoon with Vito on Star Wars Visions Volume 2. So check that out. It's on the channel. Also, don't forget the BIPOC Stream Awards.
Yes.
Voting is live. I did a quick video last week. Got the link over there. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that video, The link is in the description. Just go there and make sure you vote. Voting is from May 1st to May 21st, so you still have a few more days
Yeah.
to get your vote in for the BIPOC Stream Awards. We are up for Chatterbox Award, so just let y'all know we got nominated for Chatterbox Award. No pressure, nothing. Y'all can vote for who you want to, but
no pressure.
Wink.
Just make sure you vote.
No.
Make sure you support and everything. Gonna try to make sure we have Vicky on before probably after the voting is over because we'll be out of town. But I'll probably have her on that next week. So just to give you guys an update because I think they're planning to have the thing in June. So just to let you guys know about that. But thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys. Remember, it's gonna be 2 weeks off. So we're not going to be on next Sunday because it's Mother's Day. So take your mama out. And the 21st, we're not going to be we're not going to have one either because I should be getting back that day. I just don't know what time.
Right.
But I will make it up to y'all by playing Tears of the Kingdom on Monday and Tuesday. So that's what I'll do. But other than that, y'all guys have a lovely rest of the evening, and we'll see you guys when we get back on the 28th. Yeah, 28th. Yep. So, peace out, peoples.
Peace.
Peace.